So can you tell me, what does TAL primarily do and who do you serve?
We are a life insurance company. So TAL stands for the Australian Life. And so basically what we do is we are here to serve Australians and protecting their lives, because that's the most important thing we do, is protecting lives.
So what got you interested in specifically applying to TAL's graduate program?
I had originally heard from TAL through a friend that I worked with in another organization. And one of the things that really stood out to me about TAL was how much he loved working at TAL and the culture. And I have to say that's 100%. I very much agree with that statement. The culture here at TAL is something like no other. And I really appreciate working for an organization that is here to help everyday Australians. And that's exactly what TAL does.
Can you give me a high-level walkthrough of the application process to the graduate program at TAL?
The application process firstly starts off with a written part of the application. After the written part of the application, you'll be then invited to complete a psychometric testing. After you've completed the psychometric testing, you will then be invited to complete the video interview. After the video interview, you will then either go to an assessment center or a one-on-one interview with your business sponsor, or a graduate might be in the interview as well. After that is completed, you will then be offered a place to start at TAL as a graduate.
What was probably the hardest part of the application process to the grad program at TAL?
The hardest part of the application process for myself was the psychometric testing. And for me, that's really challenging, because trying to complete questions in a set amount of time can be really hard. And so my advice for people completing the psychometric testing is to make sure that you practice beforehand. And some key ways that you can practice beforehand there are practice tests online and putting yourself in a time.
After getting hired in the TAL's grad program, what did your first few days, weeks, and generally the onboarding process look like?
My first few days and weeks at TAL, for the first week when you start at TAL, you will actually be in an induction week. And this is really exciting, because in that induction week, you will first start off with the CEO coming in to speak to you about what TAL is about and tell you about his journey throughout the organization. Towards the end of the week, you will then meet the current grads that are in the program. And in the last day, you'll actually have a great session with them where you get to do an activity. And that's through our education provider, Fuel. And this is a great day because you get to connect and you get to learn from each other. And it's a great day to network.
So what's the difference then between an individual life and a group life graduate at TAL?
An individual life graduate works for the individual life part of the business, which focuses on individuals individually purchasing life insurance. A group life graduate focuses on the part of the business where if you have a super fund and you decide to purchase life insurance through your super, that is the group part of the business.
What would you say is totally unique about being an individual life graduate at TAL that you won't find in other grad programs?
A unique aspect of being a business graduate for individual life is the ability to have two business sponsors. And this is something I find really rewarding. So our two business sponsors, and what a business sponsor is, they are senior leaders in the business and they are both general managers. And this is really fantastic because you get to work with people who want to help your career and they want to help you grow. And a business sponsor is there to advocate you for your needs and to help you when you need it most. So for example, when it comes to moving into a different rotation or even finding a permanent role at TAL, they are going to be the ones advocating for you. And that is something I find very unique about being an individual life graduate at TAL.
Can you walk me through a day in your life?
A typical day for me as a business graduate in individual life starts off with getting the office. And firstly, I'll have a meeting with the broader team. After we have a meeting with the broader team, I will then have a meeting with my rotation leader. And this is great because this is a way to check in to see how I'm going and for her to bring up anything that is happening throughout the week, whether it's performance review related or if it's IT. Further on throughout the day, I will then participate in a meeting called for TAL Connect, and TAL Connect is a social club. This is great because I get to be able to share ideas, and it's a way for the Sydney office individuals to come together, and it's a way for us to be able to connect and come up with new ideas and ways for everyone to meet. I will then have lunch. After that, I will then have a meeting with my buddy to be able to discuss some key things that are happening throughout my graduate journey process and to be able to discuss what rotations I'd like to achieve. Then after this, I will then sit down and answer a few emails and complete a few projects that I'm working on. At the end of the day, I will sit and make a list of what I'm due complete for tomorrow. And I will then head down to the TAL gym and then I will head home.
Hey Bella, so as a grad at TAL, do you have any actions or tasks that are really the highlight of your day at work?
A highlight of my day, I would say, is definitely going into the office and having lunch with the grads. It's great to be able to catch up with them face to face and to talk to them and to see what projects they're working on. And if they're working on anything interesting, it's great because as we are a small cohort, we get to listen and learn from each other. And that's one of the things I really appreciate about being as a TAL graduate is the small cohort, and we have the chance to connect with everyone.
What is the thing that really motivates you to come into work every day as a grad at TAL?
I love coming to work every day because I know I am helping people make a difference. And having life insurance is really important as it assists not only you, but your family. And that's what life insurance is. It's about helping people. And I really appreciate working for an insurance company that values that, and people are at the heart of what we do.
And what would you say then is probably your top advice for other grads wanting to nail the graduate application process to the TAL graduate program?
My biggest piece of advice for anyone wanting to apply for an individual life graduate position at TAL is to just do it, and to make sure that when you're completing the graduate process is how can I put my best foot forward and what can I give back to the community? Because that's essentially what being an individual life graduate is, being able to help others when they need it most.
So what's the coolest fringe benefit that you get then as a grad at TAL?
I have to say that's a tough question because there are a few fringe benefits that you get. So maybe I'll put it to my top 3. I think the first one has to be the TAL gym. So that's free for all employees. And it's located in the Sydney office and it's a fully serviced gym. And at the moment it's being refurbished. The second would be having fresh fruit delivered in the office. That's really fantastic because I sometimes forget to eat fruit, and having that in the office is actually fantastic because it reminds me to eat fruit. So that's the second one. And the third one would be the company gives you a day to give back to the community. So last year I organised for all the grads to volunteer at Salvation Army, and we volunteered at the Surrey Hills and Salvation Army, and we cooked meals for the homeless that day.
Bella, tell me, what is the number one reason you would encourage other grads to apply to the graduate program at TAL?
I would encourage you to apply for TAL as a hands-on, and you get access to senior leaders in the business, people that actually care about you and they want to see you grow.